Hello everyone. And we are dyeing some papers with coffee because having a stash of papers to work on your mini art is always, well, it's almost essential. You want to have some dimension, some other things to look at. And I love coffee stain papers, but you will see later in this quick little video, I love to throw watercolor or tea with my coffee as well. Now, typically I would do this outside, not so much this type of dyeing. I'm gonna immerse it right in here to get a good coffee stained paper. But a lot of times I will take this right outside and kind of throw coffee, throw tea, throw watercolor, and get more of a splotchy effect. And I believe I've shown you that. I cannot do that right now today as it is wet and rainy and there's no sun. I like to have my papers kind of dry in the sun. But I'm gonna show you today. I've got just some plain copy paper here. I've got some that has been like printed and laying around. I've got some graph paper, a different other paper, and then I have the Fearless Flyer. If any of you have a Trader Joe's, you know what this is. It's just a like newsprint, and I was curious to see what happens with this. I'm not sure if the ink in the newsprint is going to fall off or if it's going to stay, but I thought maybe another layer of coffee staining on this might be cool. So the very first step is to have your coffee in a pan. And I like to put the paper in here and then use your coffee grounds, right? Because might need a little bit more. Let's just pour the rest of that in there. There we go. Okay, so you're gonna kind of layer that in. Layer in. This is a sheet music piece. It's just an over printed, bad copy, but stained and having some grounds over it, and just kind of, plain is going to really give that piece of just plain copy paper quite a burst of color. Okay, so I do have an old towel next to me. I have my oven at 200 degrees and I have some clean sheet pans. So you kind of want to you can stack your papers like 5 deep if you want. You want them to sit for a good 3 to 5 minutes, I would say. I like the grounds. I like what the grounds do. And kind of get that in there. And then let's just wrinkle a sheet up. Now later we will be ironing these back out. You get a lot of texture. This, when you crinkle a sheet, you're gonna give yourself texture within the crinkle. It's not that you want your paper not flat or all over the place as much as you want your paper to have some crinkle effect. Now, if you can let your coffee grounds dry out a little bit, this is this morning's, which is really strange because typically I cleaned it. I forget. And the grounds are still in there in the morning with a coffee maker. I need to get back to my French press because I love that so much more. I'm gonna let those coffee grounds sit on that. So these are gonna sit for about 5 minutes and then we will come back and I'll show you what we do next. Okay, we're back. Now I did put one of the Fearless flyers in here too. And so now I'm going to pop these out. And set them on my towel. There's that crinkled one. You see how the coffee's already getting in there. I want some of the grounds to be in there. We can layer a little bit on top. Sometimes that's going to dry and give me a pretty cool look. Okay, I'm gonna just let those sit there a little bit. Set this here, and we do need to be sure that we lay these out. We can't really overlap. So I'm going to kind of put these down. I'm going to put some grounds in here. So I have some in the oven drying, I have some here. You can hit it with your dryer, your handheld dryer, just a bit, take out some of the dampness. But while they're damp, while they're wet, grab one of your big brushes, grab your, favorite color, whatever you're feeling like. I'm gonna go with the opera pink. All right, lots and lots of water. And I am going to splatter that on there too. Especially on these butterflies. You can see how I'm kind of focusing, but I do like to give a little something on there. I'm going to go with my wiener too, which is like a gray blue. See how that's just gonna add, and the paper is still a little damp. See how the splotches are kind of still spreading. A little bit of that down there. Remember, if you throw, you're gonna get more lines, which is kind of fun at times, versus if you hit or dabble, you'll get little pieces, little splotches. All right, I need a little bit of a green in here. Let's see, just a bit. We've got the pink and the blue. I think maybe I'll throw some yellow on there, or actually let's do my favorite Aussie gold. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens with that. I like it. I'm going to set these. I do wish that was a little crinkled. I wish I would have crinkled that one up first. I'm going to put this one in. I have all of my papers here and dried, I do have my towel down still, because what I need to do now is make sure that I don't have any coffee grounds left. So I'm going to kind of clean them up. Okay, so now I am going to kind of roll up this coffee ground and pretty damp paper. I have my trusty old craft iron here. Not that the papers are going to do anything. So when you do these, right, we have these papers and they're all crinkly, and sometimes I love that and I want to keep that, but other times not so much. And I'm going to just lightly iron out the paper, and it's not going to take away the wrinkles, right? Can you see how the wrinkle still stays, but it's going to just kind of flatten my paper a little bit. Set the color. So I do love giving the papers just a quick iron, and you'll see that difference in the stack size. Just allows them to lay a little bit flatter if you were to use these in your junk journals, which in Sugar Hill Creatives we're working on this month. Gosh, I can't help it, guys. I just love to throw some watercolor on my coffee stain papers. Now it is interesting to use actual natural dyes. So blueberries, any kind of beet juice, greens, you know, any vegetable dye that you want to use. Teas have a great acidity. They have an acidic reaction, and so tea changes color. You can dye on any kind of paper, printed paper or plain. Look how gorgeous. So this was when I put other papers on top. So remember to kind of stack things as they're drying, and it just gives us more texture. That's wonderful there. And these you can use as full sheets. You can tear them up for bits and pieces in your bits box. Oops. They are great layered. Now on this week's prompts, one of the prompts is a postage stamp. And you can use a regular postage stamp. You can save something from your junk mail, or another thing you can do is print out some postage stamp images and dye the paper, and you suddenly have old stamp images. Pretty great, right?